Hi, my name's Phil Collins. I just want to give you some details about the free event that I'm running at the end of September. In fact, it's going to be on the 27th of September and it's going to be in Landreneur Village Hall. What I'm looking for are people to come along and be in the audience, but that have perhaps some issues that they want to resolve. Things like perhaps anxiety, weight loss issues, stop smoking, fear of public speaking, anything like that, anything that's got a sort of emotional attachment to it. Obviously, I don't want people to come along because they've got a broken leg. You can come along if you've got a broken leg, but I don't want people to come along if they've got a broken leg because I'm not going to be able to help a physical illness or thing like that. I'm looking for people who really have struggled, perhaps for many, many years, perhaps tried everything else that they can, have been to the doctors, had all the tests and everything like that. And I want to demonstrate something, a technique that's being used very widely throughout the world now, a technique called EFT or tapping. Lots of therapists use it nowadays, and it can. I don't do miracles myself, but obviously I've had clients who've come along and have tried everything else. They've seen everybody. But I've used this technique on them and they have said it's miraculous how all of a sudden the issues that they've lived with, suffered with, had for many, many years has suddenly just disappeared. So I want to get people together. So bring your family, bring your friends if you wish for support. But I want people to come along, listen to what I have to say. I'll explain what the technique is. I'll actually show you how to do it. I'll teach everybody in the audience how to do it. But then I'll be asking for people to come up to the front and experience it. I've got no idea whether it's going to work. I never have any ideas whether it's going to work, but I've used it on many, many people. I'll just give you a few examples. I had a young girl come along many, many years ago now, who was petrified, absolutely petrified, of actually walking down the aisle in the church and speaking her vows in front of all the congregation. I used this technique on her, and off she went. And a few weeks later, I got a beautiful thank you card with a piece of wedding cake in it, just to say thank you. And if it hadn't been for me, then she doesn't believe she would have been able to say her vows and actually got married. Another example is on a similar vein. I had a gentleman who came along whose eldest daughter had got married the year before, and he was the father of the bride, and obviously he had to give a speech. Big wedding, very, very big wedding. I came to the speech time. He stood up, looked out into the audience, and then just sat down again. He couldn't speak one word. Not one word would come out of his mouth. Obviously, he was very upset. Everybody else was upset about that. So he came to me because his younger daughter was getting married. And again, I used this technique on him, and off he went. I think the session we had was on the Friday. The wedding was on the Saturday. I did actually ask him to give me a call after the wedding just to see how it gone. He didn't call for a few days. A few days went by, he didn't call. And then I got the phone call, and he said, "Oh, Phil, I'm sorry I didn't phone you before now, but I've been so busy with my business, sorting my business out." But he just said, "Phil, I want to thank you so much." He says it was absolutely brilliant. I give a word perfect speech, and in fact, when I sat down at the end of that speech, the audience, who had obviously been there the time before, stood up and gave me a round of applause. And that was absolutely fantastic. Another gentleman I've helped, he was petrified, absolutely petrified of going to the dentist. In fact, he hadn't seen a dentist for well over 20 years, he said to me. But he had an abscess and the pain was getting really, really bad. He tried painkillers, that didn't fix it. He tried alcohol, that didn't fix it. So he said to me, "Can you help me?" I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." As I say, I can't guarantee anything. I can't say it's going to work, what have you. But then I used the EFT on him, And off he went. And when I saw them the next time, he actually said, the first thing he said to me was, I wish I knew you 20 years ago. I'd have perfect teeth. So that was really good. So I've used EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping, whatever you want to call it, to help people overcome any cravings. So I use it a lot with my smokers. So if people want to give up smoking, I teach them this technique to stop any cravings that they might have. I've had people use it for fear of flying, fear of spiders, loads and loads of things like that. Most of the time I actually use hypnosis to help my clients, but some people don't get on with hypnosis. So what I'll do, either with hypnosis or purely use this technique called EFT, and I've seen some fantastic results, absolutely wonderful results. So what I want you to do, I want you to think about coming along. Whether you come along just to support somebody, or if you know somebody who's got a problem and you think they might benefit from this, then bring them along. The bigger the audience, the better, really, because then there's going to hopefully be people in there that, I mean, I've called this event, Will We Witness a Miracle? As I said before, I don't do miracles. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but I've had clients say to me, what you've done is miraculous. So I want you to come along on the 27th of September. It's a Wednesday night between 7 and 10 p.m. at Landrinneo Village Hall. Please spread the word. Please, let's get as many people as we can. Obviously, the hall will only take about 80 people, so we're not going to have masses of people, but I do want lots of people to turn up. So please, give it some thought. Come along. Even if you've got a problem and you're a bit wary of coming out to the front, because I'm going to ask people to come out to the front and experience it. I'm going to be teaching people how to do this. I'm going to teach the whole audience how to do it. So you may benefit just by seeing people, and they'll have similar issues to you perhaps, seeing what it can do for them. And once you know what to do, then you can do it on yourself. You don't need my help. You don't need anybody's help. You can just do it on yourself. So come along and experience it. As I say, I don't expect everybody to come up to the front and take part, but I'm sure once you've seen it work on people, you'll really want to give it a go. So what I'm going to ask is for you to contact me first to say that you want to come along. Either I'm going to put this on Facebook, I'm going to put it on different places. So somehow I want you just to let me know that you come along so that I know roughly the numbers that are going to attend on that day. So preferably just don't turn up. If you have to, and that's the only way you can do it, then do turn up. But I'd really prefer to know how many people are coming along. And if you do contact me and let me know how you're going to come along, just give me an idea of what sort of issue you might want to work on the night, just so I have an idea. I don't know who's going to turn up. I don't know what issues are going to be presented to me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all my experience, knowledge, and the fact that I've helped many people use this technique and overcome many problems which they've lived for life. They've had it all their life, and then all of a sudden it's not there. I had a lady, I'll keep on talking, I had a lady who had a fear of pigeons, and she came to me for another reason, I won't go into that, but she mentioned one day she had a fear of pigeons. So I said, okay, let's try this technique, and I used just one session of EFT on this lady. It happened to be about lunchtime when we saw her, and it was in Shrewsbury. I was in Shrewsbury doing some work, and I said, all right, I've not got any clients over lunch, let's go down the Pride Hill, which is the main street in Shrewsbury. And she said, before we did EFT, she said, I wouldn't walk down the centre because there's lots of pigeons flying over the top. I'd always keep to one side by the shops, and if I saw a pigeon, I'd go into a shop. That's how bad she was. So I said, okay, let's do it. So we walked down Pride Hill, down the centre of Pride Hill, pigeons flying everywhere. At first, she was a bit, ooh, and all of a sudden she realised that it's not having an effect anymore. And now, I've met this person many times since then, and she says, Phil, haven't really got the problem anymore. I could go on all day talking about clients that I've helped with, but I'm not. So I'd love to see you on the 27th of September, Landrinnio Village Hall. Again, there'll be directions on how to get there and everything on the website or on Facebook and Twitter, I suppose. But yeah, so please come along. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can witness a miracle. Bye for now.